Over 60 years ago, Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay reached the summit of Mount Everest, marking a historic triumph that set the stage for countless others to face the mountain's merciless challenge. Each year, hundreds of climbers, both seasoned veterans and hopeful novices, attempt to conquer its icy heights. Some manage to return alive, while others are swallowed by the mountain's cruel embrace. Mount Everest has since transformed into a chilling graveyard, with over 200 bodies frozen in time. These silent sentinels, preserved by the frigid temperatures, stand as haunting reminders of those who dared to push their limits. Their stories are etched into the icy slopes, a grim testament to the price paid for ambition. Each frozen figure whispers of dreams shattered and lives lost in the unforgiving cold, their spectral presence a chilling warning to all who dare to challenge the mountain's relentless power. 1. Francis Arsentiev, Sleeping Beauty. Among the haunting figures frozen in time on Mount Everest is Francis Arsentiev, who met her tragic end on her descent from the peak in 1998. Climbing alongside her husband, Arsentiev faced a series of grim misfortunes. As exhaustion, bitter cold, and altitude sickness took hold, she lost sight of her partner and grew weaker by the hour. A desperate team of mountaineers attempted to carry her down, but their own strength faltered, and they abandoned her a mere 800 feet from the summit. The following day, 2 climbers stumbled upon her, barely clinging to life, but beyond their reach. Her desperate cries, "Don't leave me! Don't leave me!" echoed through the frigid air, a chilling plea that they could not answer as they raced against time. For 9 years, her body lay as a grim landmark on the mountain, earning the morbid nickname, the Sleeping Beauty, from passing climbers. To those who saw her, she seemed to be resting peacefully, forever locked in a cold slumber. In 2007, her body was moved away from the main climbing route and concealed somewhere else on the mountain. But the eerie presence of her final resting place remains a spectral reminder of the mountain's unyielding grasp. 2. Green Boots. Sewang Paljor, infamously known as Green Boots, stands as the most notorious of Mount Everest's frozen sentinels. According to the BBC, Paljor embarked on a fateful expedition with climbing companions Tsewang Smanla and Dorje Morup, only to be overtaken by the devastating storm of 1996. Their struggle against the storm ended in death, and Paljor's body became a macabre landmark, eerily positioned just below the summit. For nearly 2 decades, climbers encountered his chilling presence as they traversed the perilous slopes from the north. The moniker Green Boots was earned from the striking green koflak boots he wore, which became a grim icon among those who dared to ascend Everest's treacherous heights. Paljor's body remained a haunting fixture until 2014, when Chinese climbers finally moved him. Yet, even in death, his spectral form continued to cast a shadow over the mountain, a ghostly reminder of the unforgiving cold and the merciless climb. 3. Shria Shakin. On May 19, 2012, Shria Shakin, a young Canadian with no prior mountain climbing experience, reached the summit of Mount Everest. Ignoring desperate warnings from friends, her husband, and seasoned Everest Sherpas, she had pushed forward with unyielding determination. After a grueling climb, marked by the desperate need to borrow a spare can of oxygen, she stood proudly atop the highest peak in the world. The $100,000 she had invested in airfare and equipment seemed worth it. But her triumph was short-lived. In the hours that followed, her journey turned nightmarish. As the descent progressed, Shakin faltered, succumbing to the harsh elements just 820 feet from Camp 4. CBC reported her chilling last words, "Save me." Her body lay exposed on the mountain for 10 agonizing days before being retrieved by helicopter, a grim testament to the unforgiving nature of Everest. 4. Cheruiyot Kirui, a daring Kenyan thrill-seeker, faced an equally cruel fate. Determined to etch his name into history as the first African to summit Everest without supplemental oxygen, Kirui poured immense time, money, and resources into his ambitious quest. His ascent, marked by meticulous planning and immense sacrifice, was abruptly halted. Just below the summit, at 800 feet, Kirui's lifeless body remains, a haunting reminder of the mountain's indifference. His dream, once so close, was swallowed by the relentless cold, leaving his ghostly form as a silent witness to Everest's merciless grip. 5. David Sharp. David Sharp's demise remains one of the most controversial chapters in the history of Mount Everest deaths. In 2006, the passionate hiker ascended the mountain alone, without supplemental oxygen, only for him to run into trouble. Exhausted and with a low oxygen supply, he crawled into the Green Boots cave, hoping for rescue. But over 30 mountaineers walked past him on their way to and from the summit, without helping. A team of Turkish climbers noticed he was alive, but suffering from severe frostbite and oxygen depletion, but felt unable to help due to his critical state. According to them, the 34-year-old was too far gone to really be able to do anything. Sharp's last words were, "My name is David Sharp. I'm with Asian Trekking, and I just want to sleep." He is among the bodies that have remained part of Mount Everest, but he was relocated from Green Boots Cave. After his death, Sherpas took his body to a nearby cliff edge and respectfully pushed it over the side of the north face. 6. Sergey ARF. Sergey ARF, husband to the tragic Frances, known as Sleeping Beauty, entered Mount Everest's deadly embrace with a chilling resolve. The couple, driven by their determination, scaled the mountain without bottled oxygen and succeeded. Yet, their descent turned into a horrifying ordeal when they lost track of each other on the treacherous path to Camp 4. As Sergey realized his wife was missing, he desperately retraced his steps to the summit, armed with oxygen and medicine, clinging to a sliver of hope. But the mountain showed no mercy. In a cruel twist of fate, Sergey suffered a fatal fall, his body left to the cold, unforgiving terrain. It wasn't until a year later that his remains were discovered, a somber testament to the perilous heights. The couple left behind a son, a haunting legacy amidst the mountain's grim narrative. From Sleeping Beauty to Green Boots and the tragic Cheruyot Kirui, Mount Everest stands as a relentless graveyard for those who dared to challenge its icy grip. Each name etched into its slopes is a ghostly reminder of the mountain's fatal allure, a chilling monument to the souls who sought to leave their mark and paid the ultimate price.